In our med spa community, there is one question that comes up over and over again. How do you safely and, profitably partner with an online platform to offer some of these advanced therapies like peptides? It is a huge area of interest, so today we're going to give you the exact framework to answer that question for your own practice. So this is the question, right? We see it all the time. And honestly, it's a fantastic question to be asking. With the absolutely massive growth we're seeing in the wellness and longevity space, your clients are already out there looking for these treatments. The fact that you're looking to meet that demand thoughtfully and safely, well, that's what really sets you apart as a leader. So instead of just recommending one specific company, which we can't do, we're going to do something way more powerful. We're going to give you a universal framework that you can use to evaluate any platform out there. This is all about equipping you to make a smart, safe, and profitable decision, one that protects your clients, your license, and ultimately, your business. Okay, let's dive right in. First things first, let's talk about why this decision is so incredibly critical. Choosing the right partner isn't just about adding another service to your menu. It is a really strategic move for growth, for client retention, and for staying competitive in what is a very rapidly evolving market. Just look at this number, $90 billion. That's the wellness and weight loss market, and believe it or not, that estimate is already a couple of years old. The demand is absolutely enormous. And here's the bottom line. If you don't offer these advanced therapies in a safe, vetted way, your clients will find them somewhere else, and that somewhere else might not have their best interests at heart. So what's so great about a strategic partnership? Well, it lets you have your cake and eat it too. You get to add a major new revenue stream, and you get to meet that growing client demand, but you do it without all the normal headaches. No inventory, no shipping, no getting tangled up in logistics. It just frees you up to focus on what you are truly brilliant at, which is providing exceptional care and guidance to your patients. All right, let's get to the real meat of this explainer. This is the actionable checklist that every single med spa owner should be using when you're vetting a potential online partner. I'm telling you, these are the absolute non-negotiables for quality and safety. So we've basically distilled this entire process down into 5 core pillars. Let's walk through the first couple. Number 1, regulatory compliance. This is your foundation. The platform must work only with licensed 503A or 503B compounding pharmacies and FDA-inspected facilities. I mean it, no exceptions. That's the baseline for operating legally and safely. Next up, point 2, purity and quality verification. It's just not enough for them to say their products are pure. They have to prove it with independent third-party lab testing. You need to be able to request and receive what's called a certificate of analysis, or a COA, for any product batch. And this quote just brilliantly sums up why that paperwork is so important. A regulatory lawyer I know put it perfectly. If you ever face a lawsuit or a board inquiry, your best defense is that paper trail. Being able to pull that file out and show that you did your due diligence, that you prioritized patient safety, that is everything. Okay, now for the rest of our checklist. Let's look at pillar number 3, clinical and educational support. A true partner invests in your expertise. This means they're providing ongoing, expert-led training, live webinars, and they have clinical support channels you can actually get a hold of. They help you get smarter. Now for number 4, liability and patient management. This one is huge. The best platforms run on a model where their own medical providers take on the full legal liability for prescribing and managing the therapy. This creates a critical layer of protection for you and your practice. And that brings us to number 5, the final point, a seamless and secure experience. The platform just has to be professional, simple for your client to navigate, and this is critical. It has to be fully HIPAA aligned to protect their private data. So now that we know what to look for, it is just as important to know what to run away from. So let's cover the big red flags. These are the warning signs that should tell you immediately that a partnership is not safe, not compliant, and definitely not right for your practice. The first and biggest red flag is any kind of evasion around sourcing. If a company gets cagey, if they hide, or if they flat out refuse to show you where their products come from or provide those purity reports, the conversation is over. Full stop. Total transparency is absolutely non-negotiable. Okay, the second red flag is seeing this phrase, for research use only. Look, products that come from legitimate compounding pharmacies are for human clinical use. If a platform is trying to sell you products labeled for research, they are asking you to operate in a massive legal gray area that violates federal law and is almost certainly not covered by your malpractice insurance. And the third major red flag is this you're on your own mentality. If a company offers zero training, no educational resources, no ongoing clinical support, they are not a partner. They're just a reseller, and they are leaving you and your clients completely unsupported.
Okay, so you've used the checklist, you've avoided the red flags, and you have chosen a high-quality partner. That is fantastic. So now what? How do you actually integrate this new service into your practice smoothly and effectively?
Honestly, the integration can be incredibly simple. First, just train your team so they can confidently answer some basic questions. Second, design a really seamless client journey. A lot of the top practices do this with just a simple little sign or a QR code in each treatment room that says something like, "Ask us about peptides." That directs clients to your personalized link, and then the platform handles everything else: the intake, the prescribing, the fulfillment. And third, and this is so important, always lead with your clinical judgment. You are still the trusted captain of the ship, guiding your patient's overall wellness journey. The partner just manages this specific therapy protocol.
When you really put this framework into practice and you make that informed, compliant choice, the results can be absolutely transformative for your business and for your clients.
A wise partnership really does deliver on all fronts. You see significant revenue growth. I'm talking some practices adding 6 figures a year just from these referrals. You see enhanced client outcomes because you're offering them safe and effective therapies. You dramatically reduce your practice's risk by partnering with a compliant platform that takes on the liability. And, maybe most importantly, you get peace of mind knowing that you are growing your practice the right way.
Whew, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's just distill everything down into a final 3-point framework for success. These are your key takeaways.
Here it is, nice and simple. First, vet for quality and compliance. Use that 5-point checklist and never, ever compromise. Second, integrate seamlessly. Use simple tools like those QR codes to make the client journey effortless. And third, protect your practice. Make absolutely sure your partner's liability model insulates you and that you are always, always operating well within regulatory lines.
Making this decision thoughtfully doesn't just add a new revenue stream, it really solidifies your role as a trusted, forward-thinking leader in the wellness community. This is how you future-proof your practice, and this is how you protect the clients who place all their trust in you.
Now, I know that applying this framework can bring up some questions that are specific to your practice and even your state's regulations. So, if you're ready for a little more personalized guidance, here's your next step. If you'd like some one-on-one help applying this framework to your unique med spa, and that includes help reviewing options that fit your state's regulations and your growth goals, all you have to do is fill out the short form right below. Our team will follow up to schedule a free 15-minute strategy session to help you move forward with total clarity and confidence. Thank you so much for watching.